Hello and welcome. My name is Daniel Gonzalez, and this is a drawing of my friend Marley. You can see that I used charcoal powder to tone the paper and a little bit of sanguine red chalk to outline the perimeter. I like starting with the face, just trying to focus and get those details down. I'm using a photograph that I took of my friend Marley as reference for this drawing. And drawing from photo reference allows me to really take my time and measure and identify the mid values and lay those down accordingly. There is no substitute for drawing from life though. When drawing from life, there's a sense of urgency that encourages risk taking, and often the reward is growth. I find that real growth happens when you draw from life. Using photos as reference is fine, but I usually stay within my comfort zone while drawing from them. It's not a bad thing. It gives me plenty of time to practice, especially when I don't have the convenience of having a live model pose for me. You can see I'm using the Blackwing Palomino pencils to render, and as I shade in my drawing, I am trying to use every bit of the pencil as I can, but it's an uncomfortable grip using such a short handle, and you'll see later on I construct an extension for that. As I render, sometimes you'll see me grab the little napkin and blend, and I'm careful not to overblend because it can weaken the drawing. What I'm trying to do is really just get my value ranges right, really paying attention to where the midtones are and the highlights and the cast shadows and shadows. When I was drawing Marley in this pose, I kept in mind the emotions that I wanted the viewer to feel. Emotions like playful, dreamy, soft, light. Those kind of things affect the way I put down my marks. My mark application is very intentional. I try and use marks that will inform the viewer of the form and not just scribble everywhere. The gray of the graphite can be cool in temperature, so I use a red chalk to really warm it up, but I'm subtle with it. I don't overuse it, and I try and marry the two really well so that they kind of blend from one to another seamlessly. Sometimes when I'm rendering, it may seem like I'm not doing anything, but the change is subtle and it builds up upon itself, very slowly. So it just takes hours and hours of work, but the result is really good and it's worth it. Filling in all the tooth of the paper and with a very sharp point of the pencil, it makes it look great in the end. Earlier I mentioned how I was annoyed about using the short pencil that was left of the Blackwing. I like the pencils and I want to use as much as I can, but I also like collecting the little nubs of them once I'm done in a jar. And so I created this pencil extension. It works pretty well. I know that if I had removed the eraser holder, that I could have used just a regular pencil extender, but I really like the unorthodox eraser holders that come with the Blackwing pencils, and so I wanted to keep it. Alright, you'll see I'm getting closer to the finish line here, using the white chalk to add highlights and putting a subtle shade of gray behind the face there so you can see the outline of her profile a little bit easier. And it's slowly but surely building up there. So it's subtle, but it's there. Those little things make a huge difference. I considered the form of the chair quite a bit in this drawing, and I decided to render it very lightly so that it would appear to be weightless almost, kind of like a cloud. And here I'm touching up a few of the darker areas and a few of the highlights, just really trying to finish up the drawing now nicely. At this point of the drawing, I'm trying not to overblend, trying to keep the strength of the drawing and look at the texture of the paper and see what areas I can fill in, keeping my pencil point very sharp. And the last part, I take the tape off the perimeter of the drawing very, very carefully, trying not to rip the paper off. And when I apply the tape in the first place, I'll actually put the tape on my shirt several times or something so that the tack of the tape isn't too strong. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, just feel free to comment below. And don't forget to follow on Instagram or subscribe here. Thanks.